Sometimes you don't need a leash when you know it's time to walk away.
I'm Marcus Chen, 42, and I design skyscrapers. Real ones. The kind that dominate city skylines and need to withstand natural disasters. But according to my wife Sarah's social circle, I'm as exciting as watching paint dry. Apparently, keeping thousands of people from plummeting to their ends doesn't count as interesting when you're competing with guys who post gym selfies and brag about crypto investments. Sarah, 37, works in marketing for some boutique firm. She's stunning, legitimately magazine cover beautiful, with a smile that could sell anything. I fell hard for her years ago at a charity event where she actually talked to me instead of treating me like furniture. Back then, she found my quiet engineer vibe attractive. Now I'm just the boring husband who doesn't understand why we need $300 dinners for Instagram content. Her friends, though, they're something else. A pack of women who treat every gathering like a reality show audition. Designer bags worth more than cars, heels like stilts, enough perfume to knock out an elephant. They speak in coded insults wrapped in just kidding layers. The volume alone is insane, competing monologues about Pilates instructors, juice cleanses, and surprise trips to wine country. I call them the Prosecco piranhas because they smile pretty while circling for weakness. I'm simple. Give me a Saturday with a grill, quality steaks, cold beer, and sweatpants, and I'm happy. I don't need social media validation. But marriage makes you do stupid things, so I kept showing up to these ridiculous parties, standing in corners while someone's husband explained his overpriced sports car. I bit my tongue through jokes about being so serious and so different from us. Different was their polite way of saying I didn't belong. But I kept showing up because Sarah wanted me there, and I thought marriage meant supporting your partner. I played the boring husband role, the one who doesn't quite fit, the one her friends could safely mock. Until one party changed everything. Christina, Sarah's best friend, hosted what she called a Friday soiree, really just a party, but calling it that justified spending $4,000 on decorations that'd be trashed the next morning. Her husband Dean was already dead-eyed from years of marriage to someone who treated him like a matching accessory. The invitation came via group text with wine emojis, and that weird dancing lady emoji nobody understands. I showed up in dark jeans and a button-up, clean, put together, but still me. Sarah's face did that thing where her mouth smiled, but her eyes screamed disappointment. "You dressed casual," she said, making casual sound like I'd shown up in a bathrobe. A couple of her friends giggled, whispering loudly enough for me to hear that I was trying too hard. The house was Pinterest perfect. String lights, elaborate charcuterie, specialty cocktails with ridiculous names. I grabbed a beer because I'm not drinking something called a soiree sipper. Dean and I escaped to admire his new grill, having the most genuine conversation I'd get all night about BTUs and temperature control. But Sarah came outside with that look that meant I was being antisocial. Inside, the party hit full swing. Conversations about renovations, vacations, debates about soul cycle versus equinox. I stationed myself near the snacks when Lauren cornered me asking about the election. Clearly a trap where any answer would be wrong. I deflected with humor about the buffalo chicken dip, but Sarah's smile got tighter. I was already in trouble. 2 hours in, the music shifted to some early 2000s pop song that made all the women lose their minds. Squealing, shrieking about college memories. Sarah's face lit up, the first genuine emotion all night. She started dancing with her friends in that music video way women do, and I thought maybe this could be a moment, one of those spontaneous things couples remember later. So I did something brave or stupid. I walked over and took her hand. "Dance with me," I said, trying to sound playful like when we first dated. She looked at me like I'd asked her to explain quantum physics while juggling chainsaws. Her friends went quiet. She rolled her eyes dramatically and said, "Fine," like I'd asked her to do dishes. But she humored me, and for a few seconds it actually felt good. I pulled her close, hand on her waist, swaying to music. She leaned in slightly, and I remembered why I fell for her. She smelled like that expensive perfume, her hair soft against my cheek. I got caught up in it and made what seemed romantic in my head. I leaned in to kiss her. She pulled back like I'd tried to bite her, face scrunching in pure disgust. Then, loud enough for everyone to hear, in the suddenly quiet room, she said, "I'd rather kiss my dog than kiss you." Time stopped. I stood frozen, hands on her waist, my brain needing 3 seconds to process that my wife had just compared kissing me unfavorably to kissing a dog in front of 20 people where I was already the outcast. The room exploded with laughter. Full volume, can't catch your breath, slapping knees laughter. Christina nearly dropped her wine. Amanda doubled over. Someone yelled, "Oh my God!" between giggles. Even Dean had his hand over his mouth, though he looked a bit sorry. People toasted like Sarah had delivered the punchline of the century. The music kept playing, but nobody danced. Everyone watched, waiting for my reaction. This was better than reality TV. I just stood there smiling. Not real, but survival mode while my brain worked overtime. I'd spent years being the joke at these parties, taking subtle and not so subtle mockery. I'd let Sarah's friends treat me like I should be grateful they tolerated my existence. But something about this moment flipped a switch. You know when cartoon characters get hit and birds circle? Except instead of birds, it was crystal clear HD clarity about my life. I took my time. Timing is everything. Responding immediately would make me look defensive, bitter. No, this required precision. I looked directly at Sarah, maintaining that pleasant smile that probably made me look slightly unhinged. "That's fair," I said, voice steady and conversational. I paused, letting those words hang, then continued. "At least the dog wags his tail when he sees me." The effect was immediate and spectacular, like throwing a flashbang into Christina's carefully curated living room. Dead silence. Someone gasped. Amanda's wine glass froze halfway to her mouth. Christina's jaw literally dropped. But the best part was Dean. He lost it, tried to hide it, turned away, shoulders shaking. "Well, damn," he muttered just loud enough to hear. That broke the seal. Nervous laughs scattered through the room, but different from before. These were uncomfortable laughs, unsure if they were allowed to find it funny. Sarah's face went through several colors. Pale, red, weird purple. Her jaw so tight I could see muscles working in her cheeks. But I wasn't done. I'd learned their patterns, understood their dynamics. One comeback might be dismissed as luck. I needed to drive the point home. While everyone processed, while Sarah formulated her response, while the social power structure wobbled, I took a casual sip of beer. Then added, same conversational tone. And come to think of it, the dog doesn't fake headaches either. Boom! Direct hit. The room absolutely erupted into chaos. People gasping, choking on drinks. Someone in back yelled, "Oh, crap!" loud enough to echo. Dean bent over, hands on knees, laughing so hard no sound came out, tears streaming down his face. Amanda literally dropped her wine glass. It hit Christina's expensive rug, but nobody noticed. Some people laughed genuinely. Others looked scandalized. The best reactions came from other husbands. These poor bastards who'd been standing around all night pretending to care. They looked at me like I'd stormed Normandy, like I was a hero. One mouthed, "My man," and gave me a subtle nod. Another raised his beer in silent toast. Sarah looked like she was achieving nuclear fusion. Face beyond purple into colors that didn't exist in nature. Hands clenched, chest heaving, trying to restrain homicide in front of witnesses. Christina tried to mediate, but I raised my beer slightly. "Cheers to honesty, folks. Seems like it's been in short supply around here." The laughter that followed wasn't at my expense for once. "We're leaving," Sarah announced, strangled and tight. "Now." "Sounds good," I replied cheerfully. "I've got an early morning anyway. Buildings don't design themselves." As we headed out, I could hear frantic, whispered conversations exploding behind us. This would be the story they talked about for years. The night boring Marcus Chen finally snapped and took down Sarah in front of everyone. The walk to our car felt like an end march. Sarah's heels clicked against concrete with sharp, angry precision. She yanked open the passenger door hard enough to nearly rip it off and slammed it so the vehicle shook. I took my time getting in, still riding the high. My hands weren't shaking. Heart rate normal. I felt calm, centered. The silence in the car was weaponized, aggressively silent with gravitational pull. I could hear everything. Tires on asphalt, air conditioning, breathing, leather creaking. I hummed along to the radio, some Tom Petty song about not backing down. Universe having a laugh. About halfway home, she finally broke. "You embarrassed me," she hissed, low and venomous. I didn't respond immediately. Checked mirrors, used my turn signal, made the turn. "Oh," I finally said pleasantly. "I thought you started that game." Her head whipped toward me, but I kept eyes on road. We pulled into our driveway, motion sensor light clicking on. "You made me look bad in front of my friends," she continued, voice rising. I put the car in park, turned off the engine, sat there with hands on steering wheel. then turned to look at her directly. Really looked at this woman I'd married, this person who just compared kissing me to kissing a dog, this stranger. Sarah, I said calmly, your friends laughed harder when you insulted me than when Dean announced his vasectomy last 4th of July. Remember that awkward silence? Tonight when you compared me to a dog? They were genuinely entertained. They loved it. So explain how I made you look bad when you literally started a public roast session with your husband as target. Her mouth opened, closed, opened again like a fish gasping. No response because there wasn't one. I just evened the score, I continued, unbuckling. Actually, you still came out ahead. You got your laugh. Everyone agreed you were hilarious. I just made sure the victory wasn't as one-sided as you'd planned. I got out, closed the door normally, headed toward the house. Max, our golden retriever, greeted me with his whole body wagging. Hey, buddy, at least somebody's happy to see me, right? Max licked my face enthusiastically. Point proven. Sarah stormed past upstairs. The bedroom door slammed hard enough to rattle wall pictures. Max looked at me, concerned about the weird energy. Don't worry, Max. Just human nonsense. You wouldn't understand. I grabbed a beer, settled on the couch, turned on a late-night baseball game, and stretched out. Max jumped up, head on my lap, content and loyal and uncomplicated. Above me, I could hear Sarah moving around, probably rage-texting friends, crafting her sufferer version. I didn't care. Not even a little. That night, I slept like a man who'd finally stopped apologizing for existing. Best sleep in years. Next morning, I woke to Max licking my face and the smell of nothing. No coffee, no breakfast, no sounds of Sarah's routine. Just silence and a dog who needed to pee. My phone showed 8:47 a.m. Saturday. The bedroom door upstairs still closed. My phone buzzed. Text from Dean. Dude, you're a legend. Christina barely slept. The group chat is insane. I grinned. What group chat? The wives' group chat. She left her phone unlocked. Got screenshots? Want them? Did I want them? I replied with yes emojis and waited. Dean was a real one. My phone lit up with screenshots. The group chat name was Wine Queens, which told you everything. Messages started at 10:47 p.m., 15 minutes after we'd left. Christina. Okay, can we talk about what just happened? Amanda. Logan actually said that out loud? Rachel. The dog comment. I literally can't. Then Sarah entered at 11:02 p.m. I can't believe he embarrassed me like that in front of everyone. I'm mortified. But instead of immediate support, there was a 3-minute gap. Dead air. The group trying to figure out how to navigate. Christina, finally. I mean, you did say the dog thing first, babe. He was just responding. Sarah. I was joking. Everyone knows that. He took it seriously and made it into this big thing. Amanda. Was it a joke, though? Because it didn't sound like a joke. It sounded kind of mean, actually. Oh, crap. Amanda going rogue. Sarah. Whose side are you on? Amanda. I'm not on anyone's side. I'm just saying if you publicly roast your husband, you can't be surprised when he roasts you back. That's just math. Rachel. He did get you pretty good with the headache comment. Dean was laughing so hard he couldn't breathe. Lauren. Okay, but he went too far. Making those kinds of jokes about your wife in public, that's disrespectful. Someone named Beth, who I'd never met, typed out both my comebacks, word for word. New reactions popped up. Laugh reacts, lots of them. Sarah. This isn't funny. He made me look bad, like I'm some terrible wife. Christina. I mean, the headache thing was kind of accurate, though. Remember last month when you told us? The chat went quiet after that. Then Lauren tried rallying. Bottom line, Marcus was out of line. Sarah was just being playful, and he took it to a dark place. She deserves an apology. Amanda. Does she, though? She literally compared kissing him to kissing a dog in front of 20 people. How is that not disrespect? This, Amanda, was quickly becoming my favorite person. Sarah. It was a joke. God, why is everyone suddenly defending Marcus? Rachel. Maybe he's been quiet because every time he opens his mouth, one of us makes fun of him. Holy crap. Actual rebellion brewing. Lauren. You guys are being ridiculous. Marcus is probably insecure, and that's why he lashed out. Sarah should suggest couples therapy. Sarah. I'm not going to therapy because my husband can't take a joke. Amanda. Again. Was it a joke? Because jokes are supposed to be funny for everyone involved. Marcus didn't look like he was laughing. Beth. My husband would divorce me if I said that to him in public. Just saying. Christina. Maybe we should all just calm down. It was a weird night. Everyone had a lot to drink. But they didn't move past it. The messages kept coming. I scrolled through screenshot after screenshot, watching this friend group split down the middle. Some team Sarah, some pointing out she started it, some staying neutral and terrified. The best message came from someone named Nicole at 1:34 a.m. Honestly, I think Marcus is hot now. The confidence, the timing, that man woke up and chose violence, and I'm here for it. 3 laugh reacts, and Sarah replied, "Are you serious right now?" Nicole: "I'm just saying, quiet guys who finally snap are always the interesting ones. You've been taking him for granted, and now you're surprised he bit back. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes." I laughed so hard I snorted coffee. Dean sent one final text. "There's more, but phone dying. Dude, you broke their group. Half think you're a hero. Christina's talking about uninviting people from her birthday next month because she doesn't want drama. Tell Christina I'll skip her birthday." I typed back. "Wouldn't want to cause drama." Dean: "Nah, man, you're probably the only reason half the husbands will show up now. You're like our champion." I heard movement upstairs. The bedroom door opening. Sarah appeared at the top of stairs in pajamas, hair messy, eyes red. She looked down at me on the couch, Max beside me, coffee in hand. "We need to talk," she said, voice hoarse. "Sure. What's up?" "Don't what's up me, Marcus. You know exactly what's up. You humiliated me and now my friends are—" She trailed off, realizing she was about to admit her friends weren't unanimously on her side. "Are what?" I asked innocently. Her eyes narrowed. "You need to apologize. You need to make this right." I looked at her. Really looked at this woman who'd spent years making me feel small, weaponizing her friends against me, thinking she could publicly mock me without consequences. "Oh, I did make things right," I said calmly. "I made myself right. You can handle the rest however you want." Shock, anger, disbelief crossed her face. She opened her mouth, but I held up a hand. "I'm going to take Max for a walk. You can use that time to decide if you want an actual conversation about our marriage or if you want to keep pretending you're the sufferer. Your choice." I grabbed Max's leash and headed out. Behind me, Sarah made this frustrated sound, half scream, half sob, but I didn't turn around. The walk lasted about an hour. By the time I returned, Sarah had showered, done makeup, and was sitting at the kitchen table with her laptop and 6 pages of notes like she was preparing a board presentation. "I've been thinking," she announced. "Not good morning or can we talk? Just straight into presentation mode." "That's dangerous," I muttered, filling Max's water bowl. She ignored that. "This situation has gotten out of hand. People are talking, taking sides, causing unnecessary drama." Notice how it was unnecessary drama, not I was wrong. "So I think we need to do a public apology dinner," she continued, consulting notes. "We invite everyone back, we both apologize for taking things too far, we show we're united, we move forward and everyone stops with the group chat drama." I stopped mid-bite of my apple. "We both apologize." "Yes, you apologize for what you said, I apologize for my comment, and we present a united front. It'll show maturity and growth." She said this like pitching to a client, complete with hand gestures. "Sarah," I said slowly, "you compared kissing me to kissing a dog in front of 20 people. I responded with factual observations. We're not equivalent here." Her jaw tightened. "Marcus, if you want to fix this, you need to meet me halfway." "Halfway would be you apologizing and me accepting it. What you're describing is me apologizing for defending myself while you give some half-a, sorry if you were offended non-apology." She stood, chair scraping loudly. "Fine, don't apologize, but I'm still doing the dinner. I'm still fixing this because, unlike you, I actually care about my relationships and my reputation." "Your reputation," I repeated. "Right, because that's what's important. Not the actual relationship, not how you treat your husband, but how things look to other people." "You're being impossible," she snapped. "I'm being honest. There's a difference. But you've been playing pretend so long, I don't think you can tell anymore." She grabbed her phone, typing furiously. "I'm texting Christina. We're doing this dinner Friday night. You can either show up and be supportive or prove to everyone that you're exactly as difficult as they're starting to think you are." "Oh, I'll be there," I said, smiling. Wouldn't miss it for the world. She looked suspicious but was too focused on damage control to question it. The next 4 days were Sarah planning this dinner like a state dinner. Hired caterers, new decorations, formal invitations through some expensive app. Meanwhile, I went about my week normally. Work, gym, walking Max. But I did make one special shopping trip to a pet store where I found exactly what I needed. The woman working there, mid-50s with kind eyes and a name tag saying, "Ruth, help me." "This is either going to be really funny or really bad," Ruth said, ringing me up. Probably both, I admitted. Friday evening arrived. Our house looked magazine perfect. Sarah had gone full perfectionist. Everything arranged just so, lighting adjusted, wedding photos strategically repositioned for maximum we're so in love effect. She'd bought a new dress, spent 2 hours on hair and makeup. Remember, she told me getting ready, we're showing unity tonight. We're a team, no more drama. Got it, I said, buttoning a crisp shirt. Total team players. People started arriving around 7. Christina and Dean, Amanda and her boyfriend Kyle, Rachel and her husband Brian, and others including Nicole, who gave me a very knowing smile that made Sarah's eye twitch. Everyone was aggressively polite with that weird, over-the-top courtesy people use in awkward situations. Lots of house looks beautiful and carefully avoiding mentioning what happened last week. We sat down for dinner and Sarah immediately went into host mode, serving food, making sure everyone had drinks, chattering about neutral topics. About halfway through the main course, Sarah stood and tapped her wine glass with a fork. I just want to thank everyone for coming tonight. Last week was rough for Marcus and me. We both said things in the heat of the moment that we regret, but we've talked and we want you to know we're stronger than one bad night. We're committed to our marriage and to each other. She looked at me expectantly. My cue to stand and give my matching apology to complete her scripted redemption arc. I did stand. I even smiled. But instead of apologizing, I reached into my jacket pocket and pulled out a small wrapped gift box. Sarah's eyes lit up. Maybe she thought I'd bought jewelry. I actually got Sarah a gift, I announced to the room. Something that really captures how she feels about me. I handed her the elegantly wrapped box. She took it hesitantly. Open it, I encouraged. She carefully unwrapped it, lifted the lid, and pulled out the contents. It was a dog chew toy, bright red, squeaky, bone-shaped, with a tag reading for when you miss my lips. The room went silent for 2 seconds, then erupted. Dean lost it immediately, laughing so hard he had to put down his fork. Amanda was hiding her smile behind her napkin, but failing. Brian was shaking with silent laughter, face turning red. Nicole was straight up cackling. Sarah stood frozen, holding this dog toy, face cycling through every shade of red and purple. Her carefully planned dinner demolished in one move. Marcus, Christina said, trying diplomacy but clearly fighting laughter. What? I said innocently. She said she'd rather kiss the dog. I figured she might want something to practice on. I'm thoughtful like that. Lauren tried rallying. This is incredibly immature, Marcus. I'm giving my wife a gift that acknowledges her stated preferences, I interrupted. Isn't that what good husbands do? Listen to their wives? Max, hearing the squeaky toy, came bounding in, tail wagging, immediately fixating on the toy in Sarah's hand. See, I said, Max approves. He's very supportive of Sarah's choices. Nicole completely lost it, laughing so hard tears streamed down her face. Sarah finally found her voice. Get out! It came out strangled, barely above a whisper. What's that? I asked, cupping my ear. Get out! She screamed, throwing the chew toy at me. It bounced off my chest with a squeak. Max immediately went for it, thinking we were playing, which made several people laugh harder. I caught the toy before Max could grab it and set it gently on the table in front of Sarah's place setting. I'll just leave this here for you, in case you need it later. I turned to address the room. Thanks for coming, everyone. Sorry to disrupt the Unity dinner, but I've got an early morning, buildings to design. Enjoy your evening. The catering company did excellent work, by the way. I grabbed my jacket, whistled for Max, and headed out. Behind me, chaos erupted, Sarah screaming, Christina trying to calm her down, Dean still laughing. As I walked out, I heard Nicole say clearly, "Best dinner party I've ever been to. No contest." I loaded Max into my truck and sat there, engine running, watching through the window. My phone started buzzing. Probably Dean sending updates. I pulled out and headed to my buddy Rick's place. He'd told me I could crash there if things went south. And judging by 17 missed calls, things had gone extremely south. But driving through quiet streets, Max panting happily beside me, I felt nothing but satisfaction. Sarah wanted a public apology dinner to save face. Instead, she got a public demonstration that I was done playing her games. I crashed at Rick's that night. He handed me a beer, asked 0 questions, just said, "Guest room's yours as long as you need it, bro." Real friendship. My phone blew up all night. Calls, texts, voicemails from Sarah. I ignored them. Around midnight, Dean messaged, "Dude, she's losing her mind. Christina had to give her a Xanax. Half the people left right after you. Amanda and Nicole stayed an hour just to watch the meltdown. This is legendary." I texted back, Tell me she kept the chew toy. Dean, it's still on the table. She won't touch it. Just sitting there like a monument to your savagery. Next morning, I woke to 47 missed calls. Sarah had called every 15 minutes from 6 a.m. until I woke at 9:30. I listened to one voicemail. Marcus, you need to come home right now. You humiliated me twice. My reputation is ruined. Christina is getting calls asking if we're getting divorced. Lauren unfollowed me on Instagram. Do you have any idea how serious that is? I almost laughed. The Instagram unfollow was DEFCON 1, not our imploding marriage. Another voicemail. You think you're so funny, don't you? You're not funny, Marcus. You're cruel. You're making me look like the bad guy when all I did was make one little comment. One little comment. That's how she was reframing it now. Rick walked in, saw my face. She's still calling. 47 times since 6 a.m. Jesus, what are you going to do? Honestly, I have no idea, but I know I'm not apologizing. I'm done apologizing for existing. Rick nodded. About time, man. You've been miserable for years. We've all seen it. That hit harder than expected. I thought I was hiding it well. I decided to text Sarah instead of calling. I'll come by to get some stuff this afternoon. We need to talk. Her response was immediate. You need to come home now and fix this. Me. There's nothing to fix, Sarah. This has been broken for a long time. Sarah. Don't you dare. Don't act like I'm the problem. You're the one who can't take a joke. Me. You started both times. I just finished them. There's a difference. Sarah. I'm your wife. You're supposed to support me, not humiliate me. Me. Marriage is a two-way street. You don't get to publicly mock me, then cry sufferer when I respond. She didn't respond to that. Around 2 p.m., I drove back. Sarah's car was in the driveway. I could see her through the window, pacing like a caged animal. I took a deep breath, left Max in the truck, and walked inside. She was on me immediately. Where have you been? Do you know how worried I was? Sarah, I started, but she was rolling. You made me look like an idiot again. Everyone is talking. Everyone is taking sides. Amanda texted saying maybe we need space. Amanda, my friend for 10 years. What did you expect me to do? I said calmly. Just smile and take it? It was a joke. No, it wasn't. You meant it. You've been treating me like I'm beneath you for years, and I'm done. She stopped pacing. What do you mean, done? I mean I'm done. Done apologizing for not being exciting enough. Done being your punching bag. Done pretending this marriage is something it's not. Her face went pale. You're not serious. I've never been more serious about anything in my life. You're going to throw away our marriage because your feelings got hurt? No, I said, feeling incredibly calm. I'm ending a marriage that's been dead for a long time because I finally realized I deserve better than someone who treats me like an embarrassment. I don't treat you, she started. Yes, you do, for years. Every party. I'm the joke. And I've been playing along because I loved you. Or thought I was supposed to. Or was too stupid to realize love shouldn't feel like slowly drowning. Tears streamed down her face, but they felt manipulative. So that's it? You're giving up? I'm not giving up. I'm choosing myself for once. There's a difference. She stood there, mascara running, looking at me like she'd never seen me before. Maybe she hadn't. Maybe she'd only seen the version I pretended to be. I'll be back tomorrow for my stuff, I said. You can have the house, the furniture, whatever. I just want my tools, my clothes, and Max. You're taking the dog? Sarah, you literally said you'd rather kiss him than me. I think he'll be happier with someone who actually wants him around. She opened her mouth, but nothing came out. I turned to leave, then paused. For what it's worth, I did love you, past tense. But this version of you, the one who treats her husband like a prop in her social media life, I don't even like her, let alone love her. I walked out, got in my truck where Max waited, and drove away from the house, the life, the future we'd planned. And I didn't feel sad or angry. I felt light, like someone had removed a 50-pound weight I'd forgotten I was carrying. My phone buzzed. Text from Dean. Christina just got a call from Sarah. Says you're leaving her. Is it true? Me. Yeah, it's true. Dean. Good for you, man. Seriously. You deserve better. That's when I realized even people in Sarah's own circle knew she treated me badly. They just didn't say anything because that's not how that group operates. But I was done pretending, done smiling through pain, done being the guy who took it quietly. I was Marcus Chen, civil engineer, dog owner, and as of today, a man who finally remembered what self-respect felt like. A week later, Sarah officially moved out. Well, I moved out since she wanted the house. She packed her designer clothes, ridiculous throw pillows, and 90% of our wedding photos. The divorce papers were filed. Suddenly, I was single for the first time in 6 years. My new apartment was decent. 2-bedroom, allowed dogs. It was mine. No judgment, no performance, no walking on eggshells. Just me, Max, and furniture setup consisting of exactly what I needed. Her friends predictably went into overdrive on social media. Christina shared quotes about knowing your worth. Lauren posted about strong women who don't need men who can't handle their confidence, completely ignoring that confidence and cruelty aren't the same thing. But I decided to join the game once. One post. I kept it simple, classy, devastating. I posted a photo of Max sleeping peacefully on my new couch with caption, "Sometimes you don't need a leash when you know how to walk away." My phone exploded. The post got more likes in 2 hours than Sarah's carefully curated content had gotten in 6 months. Comments poured in from people I hadn't talked to in years. Dean commented, "Legendary." Nicole wrote, "Best glow up of the year. Also still meant what I said about my sister." Even Amanda chimed in, "Some people mistake kindness for weakness. Glad you reminded everyone there's a difference." Sarah's friends couldn't say anything without admitting they knew she'd been terrible, so they stayed quiet. Except Lauren, who tried calling me out, but her comment got ratioed so hard she deleted it within an hour. Meanwhile, my life actually improved. Work was great. My firm landed a massive contract, and my boss mentioned my renewed focus and energy. Funny how much more productive you are when you're not managing someone else's emotional terrorism. I bought the new truck Sarah had always vetoed because it wasn't sophisticated enough. Started going to the gym regularly. Reconnected with friends I drifted from. About 3 weeks after the split, I ran into Christina at a grocery store. She saw me and internally debated whether to acknowledge me or pretend she hadn't noticed. She chose acknowledgement. "Marcus," she said, smile tight. "How are you?" "Never better, actually. Honestly, you?" She clearly hadn't expected that. "Good. Yeah, good." Then because she couldn't help herself, "Sarah's been having a hard time with everything." "I'm sure she has," I said neutrally. "Consequences tend to be hard." Christina's expression flickered between offense and respect. "You know, I never thought you had it in you. The comebacks, the confidence. You were always so quiet." I smiled. "I wasn't quiet, Christina. I was just waiting for a good reason to speak up. Turns out self-respect is a pretty good reason." I left her standing there, probably already texting the group chat, and felt zero regret. 6 months later, I'm genuinely thriving. My firm promotion came with a salary bump that made lawyer fees feel like pocket change. I bought that truck, took a solo trip to Colorado, started actually enjoying life instead of surviving it. And I met Jenny. Met her at the dog park where I walk Max. She's a veterinary technician, funny as hell, refreshingly honest. No games, no performances, just a woman who says what she means. We've been dating 3 months and it's shockingly easy. Turns out relationships don't have to feel like navigating minefields. When she asked about my ex, I kept it simple. Let's just say she barked up the wrong tree. Jenny laughed so hard she snorted, which somehow made her more attractive. I still see Sarah's friend group around town occasionally. They avoid eye contact like I'm Medusa, probably terrified I'll roast them too. I just smile and go about my day. Life's too short to waste on people who treat you like you're lucky they tolerate you. I learned that lesson the hard way, but damn, it was worth it. Max agrees. He's never been happier.